to shine its light as me, as you so use me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here I abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new, and God needs us to shine its light as me, as you so use me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here I abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Thank you. So now, let's do a little reading here. This is from The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, page 25. The first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. It sounds very simple, but it is very, very powerful. Why your word? Your word is the power that you have to create. Your word is the gift that comes directly from God. The Gospel of John in the Bible, speaking of the creation of the universe, says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word is God." Through the Word, you express your creative power. It is through the Word that you manifest everything. Regardless of what language you speak, your intent manifests through the Word. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are will all be manifested through the Word. So let's take this opportunity to use the words. And I know that today is a perfect day. And we've come together here in this space and on the interwebs and know that we are all connected, that we are all speaking the word of the one life, the one presence, and it is our life. And it is so blessed, and it is so grateful, and I just am so grateful that we get to come together in this spirit of good, of love, and of joy and success. And with great gratitude I say, and so it is. All right. So now we have the wonderful, the talented music of Christine S. Young.
If you guys feel the need to stand up and clap, don't let me stop you by any means. 'Cause when I get up in the morning, I feel free. Oh, I get up in the morning and I feel free. Up in the morning, raise my head, shout hallelujah, and jump out of bed. You know I'm up in the morning now, and feel free. Well, I'm on my way out and I feel free. Well, I'm on my way and now I feel free. Oh, yes, I do. On my way, gonna change my life with a higher power and a heart of light. I'm gonna on my way now and I feel free. Well, I can't stop now 'cause I feel free. Well, I'm on my way now, I feel free. Let the Spirit carry me, gonna find my potentiality. You know I'm on my way now and I feel free. Singing it with power, glory, freedom, feel it. I feel free. Power, glory, freedom, feel it. Praise the Lord, now I feel free. Oh, praise the Lord, now I feel free. Lord, oh Lord, gonna raise my head up. Good God Almighty, gonna praise and stand up. Can't stop now 'cause I feel free. I feel so free. I feel 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 free. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I feel so free. Yeah.
So Michael Beckwith says that 100% of spiritual growth is in the letting go. Releasing and letting go of ideas, beliefs, and attachments that no longer serve to create openness and spaciousness. It removes obstacles and impediments in the way of living. So as I was preparing for today, I realized that I have prepared at least 2 spiritual practices that we're going to be doing together. And so I'm going to walk through this by reflecting on my week, because I know each one of us here had an opportunity to look at life a little differently. So on Sunday, when I got dressed, I put on this fabulous blue top that Carol had given me for my birthday. I didn't wear it the week before because the week before I'd already planned what I was going to wear. So I wore it, and the reason I wore it, well, 2 reasons, because she gave it to me and I loved it. The other reason was, what many of you don't know is, every Sunday afternoon or evening, I would get a text from Carol. Oh, honey, you look fabulous in that outfit. Or, oh, honey, you're getting too skinny. I got a couple of those too. And then she'd tell me what I spoke about, how that touched her heart. So as I'm getting out of the call, my cell phone rings and it's Karen. And as I'm walking up to the house, Karen tells me that Carol's no longer with us. And it was like time stopped. And I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about, because you probably, each and every one of you, were of the age, probably each and every one of us has experienced a loss. Time just stopped. And what I decided to do this time was to pay attention. Because what I noticed in that moment, that there was a piece of me that I could literally feel go, nope, I'm not dealing with this. I'm taking a time out. Have any of you felt that? When something happens, I don't want to face this. And so I literally thought, oh, you do that all the time. You need to find out what that is about. And so what I did was I meditate every morning. And what I did was I decided to do a meditation that I'd read about from Danielle Laporte. She's a New Thought person who I love. She's from Canada. And she said, when you meditate, to put your hands on your heart and talk to your heart. Because remember, as we started in this philosophy, we were always told, toughest journey you're going to make here is the 18 inches from your head to your heart. And when it comes to grief, this is where I stayed. I could process it perfectly in my head. So I just stayed there because it was comfortable and it was easy. And so I started to ask my heart, what does sadness really feel like? And I invite you to do that when you meditate. You don't have to ask that question. Ask your heart any question. You could ask your heart, what does joy feel like? What's my highest good for today? You know, we've got all of these different tools, and yet it never dawned on me in meditation. I could ask that question every morning. What is Spirit's highest vision for my life today? And then just allow, as I'm in that repose, just to listen and see. So one of the things that happened during the week, because as I am processing, my dear friend is talking in my ear to me. That would be Carol, in case you missed that. Little conversations the two of us would have. And I guess she thought, well, you're not really paying attention, Gail. And so on Thursday, I was headed outside to toss something in the recycle bin, and when I was headed back to the door, it closed. Now you have to understand, I keep myself locked in my house. And so when the door closed, the house was locked. And there was no way to get into the house. Now, because I've lost all this weight and drink a lot of water, I'm cold most of the time. So when I'm in the house and I'm not on Zoom, I wear this big purple bathrobe over my clothes. Thank God I do get dressed every morning. And I have purple slippers that match my robe. So picture that, if you will. Outside thinking, okay, I don't have my phone. I'm dressed like I'm ready for bed. It's cold outside on Thursday. And so I go to my neighbor's house, and there's a sign that says, do not disturb day sleeper. So I'm like, okay, I'll walk around to the back of his house, and I realized it's all fenced off. I can't get there. So I'm like, okay. So I go back on the porch, sit down, and think, okay, you've ordered things from Amazon. Just let an Amazon driver show up. It's all you need. And then I kind of just listened, had a little conversation. And eventually a UPS driver showed up with an Amazon delivery. and I used his cell phone, and I got into the house, and we fixed that now. I had this thing in my head that we have deadbolts on every door, but the handles also lock. And Paul's like, you don't need the handle locked with a deadbolt. And if you go out, you have to unlock the deadbolt, and then you could always get back in. So solve that problem so I won't be locking myself out of the house anymore, hopefully. So, one of the things in the first process we're going to work through is what came to me as I was sitting out there was this story that I had told myself my entire life. And the story was, I have no confidence and I'm not good enough. Anybody else have that story? So, as we're sitting on the porch, I said to Paul, how does somebody in their 30s pick up their family, move to New Jersey, never been outside the state of Washington living, move their family from Washington to New Jersey and go to work in Manhattan and not have confidence? There's a disconnect there, right? This is a story I have been telling myself my whole life. And I realized that I told it because if you're of a certain age, and I know a lot of you are, A, women are not supposed to be smarter than men. And B, when I grew up, women were still pretty much being telephone operators and housewives. And so from the time I can remember, it was like you play down being smart. And the way to play down being smart is to develop that. I don't have any confidence, which is sad because it drove my life. And what I got was I listened to Carol and I said to Paul, I'm really a damn good minister. I am really good at what I do. And I'm going to start claiming that. Right? Because, playing small doesn't serve me. It certainly doesn't serve any of you. And so I want to walk you through this process. I want you to think about something you always tell yourself. It could be that you're not smart enough. It could be that your parents hated you. I don't care what the story is. What story do you tell yourself that keeps you from being what you've come here to be? That divine idea of God is you. What story is that? And I want you to take a moment and I want you to really live that story. I want you to feel it in your body. If there's pain associated with it, feel the pain. I want you to really know that that story, whatever it is made up. It is made up. Even if there is truth in it, it's a story that we can change. And that is the beauty of being human. That is the gift of having a friend who says every week, every single week, how fabulous I look. And what an amazing message that was. And because she's not here any longer, I have to tell myself that. Because I can't let her down, and I certainly can't let you down. And so I want you to just take a moment and think about that story that you tell yourself. I want you to honor and respect the story because for whatever reason, it protected you, right? Our stories protect us. And so the question is, because almost everybody in the room raised their hand, are you ready to move beyond that? Are you ready to thank your ego or the story, whatever it is, to thank it and say, wow, good job? And in asking it, asking it is given. Yeah, asking it is given. She talks about when you get one of those stories and it comes back. And it will come back. I trust, this process is not necessarily going to get rid of it. It might, yay. But when it shows up, go, I'm not that person anymore. And wow, look at how much I've changed. I spent 50 years of my life, what more, because I just got this confidence thing. So I'm 69 years old now. 69 years I've been telling myself that story. For whatever reason, and now I'm ready to let it go. Maybe not I'll live another 69 years. But I'm going to give my best shot at being confident in every single living moment I have left. So thank you, Carol, for that. So now that you've felt the story, I want you to take a moment to say goodbye to the story. With gratitude, with love. And now together we're going to take 3 deep breaths. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose. And I want you to release it slowly out of your mouth. Take another deep, deep breath in through your nose. And then slowly release it through your mouth. One more time. One deep breath in through the nose. And then and I will post this next part in Genesis Family. As I read this, I want you to own this in the very cells of your being. So if you want to close your eyes, feel free. I no longer need this story. It is time to write a new one. It is time to release any attachments to this story, for I no longer need it to define me and my journey. Whenever I feel this story come up, whenever I feel the old thoughts bubbling to the surface, I am gently going to remind myself, no, not anymore. And then shift my attention onto something else. I will not ignore any thoughts that need to be released. And I will not allow myself to continue falling into the same trap again and again. I will write a new story, a better story. And so I remind you, we create our lives every single day. It is the gift we have, the blessing, if you will. Whatever happened yesterday does not have to impact our life today unless we choose. So Ernest Holmes says, if we would take time once a day at least to let go of all that is not true and lay hold of reality, let go of doubt, distrust, worry, condemnation, fear, and lay hold of life in its expression of beauty, truth, and wholeness, we will be healed. It's an inside-out job. So the next thing that happened, well, actually before locking myself out of the house, and probably that's why I got locked out of my house. Before, I belonged to a coaching club, and we were going to have a call on Thursday. And I went into at 10 o'clock in the morning, I logged in, and the normal person, the person that was there was normal also. The person that leads us had another commitment and couldn't be there. And so she asked one of our group to be the lead. And this woman, and I should have written her name down. Her last name is Heath. Her first name has escaped me right now. She had been a nurse for 28 years, and she deals in grief. She is Patch Adams. Does everybody know who Patch Adams is? Patch Adams, if you haven't seen the movie, you should watch it. He dresses up like a clown to help people and to relieve people of their grief, or to help them move through their grief, not relieve them from it, but to help people move through their grief. And so her line that she told us was, because her belief is, like Patch Adams, is we, at least as Americans, we don't talk about death. We don't learn about death, right? Anybody take a class at school that said, you know, this is what happens in life? Anybody have that conversation with their parents at the dinner table when they were growing up? I know I didn't. And she believes that we should talk about it all our life, because it is part of life. It is part of, there is not a person here that probably hasn't experienced death and won't personally experience death at some time in their life. We are infinite. However, this human body, we will be done with at some point in our life. And so I love what she said to us. Plan your life, plan your death, and then love your life to death. So Mike, I'm ready for the next slide. I saw this, and the first thing I wanted to do was just go up and kiss her. Because that's another thing Carol and I did. We kissed each other every time we saw each other. And I don't mean that nice little peck on the cheek. Carol and I kissed each other on the mouth. Because we adored each other. I adored her as much as she adored me. And what I want to share with all of you, because some of you may not know, and this may be a shock that Carol's no longer with us, is Carol at one time had been in the hospital and had surgery to remove cancer from her body. And the cancer had returned. And she was in excruciating pain. And so, although I miss her, what I know to be true is this lady now, right, Karen, is tap dancing. She's learning the country two-step, and she's singing at the top of her lungs. And I find it interesting because I know she's not alone. Because as many of you know, another person that was really, really close to Carol, Todd Freefield, no, sorry, that's somebody else in my life, Todd Faulkner. I apologize, Todd. I know your name. Todd Faulkner, he's up there dancing and singing. And here's the other thing about the two of them. They're talking about all of us. Every single one of us. And they're not necessarily being nice. Right? Because they love to just, it's like being the fashion police. There's a joy. That was the other thing I learned on Thursday. Grief, it comes in waves, and it doesn't all have to be sorrow. This is not Carol's memorial service. This is about us. Carol's memorial service will be in the late spring or early summer when we can once again meet in person hopefully without social distancing and masks. I don't know what that future is going to look like and if we'll be that far, but at least without social distancing. And we will have it here at the Carco Center. That's all I know right now. We'll wait and see how we get vaccinated and how that moves on. So I love, again, how God works in my life. I was working with somebody, and she was having an issue in her life, and I said, why don't you do Ho'oponopono? And she's like, I don't know what that is. I've never heard about it. So I told her the practice as I knew it. And then because she's as curious as Miss Carol, she dug in and she found a book. And I said, well, what, and the book is Ho'oponopono. And there's lots of books out there, and there's lots of people that say how you're supposed to do the prayer. And yet what I loved about the book, first of all, the gentleman wrote his dissertation for his PhD on Ho'oponopono. He knows, and his name didn't appear to me to be Hawaiian, but that may be because maybe his father wasn't Hawaiian and his mother was. He was immersed in the Hawaiian community. And what he said Pono means is the flow of life. I am in the flow of life when I'm Pono. And when you say Pono, it's like a double dose, right? But in reading the book, there are 3 instances where they recommend using Ho'oponopono. When you need to forgive somebody, when you need to forgive yourself, and when somebody leaves. And that's the practice that I want to share with you today. And so, although it's just Carol's picture up there, we're going to do it for Carol and for Todd. And so I invite you to close your eyes. And this time when we do the breath, on the out breath, I want you to say, ha, ha, okay? So you breathe in through the nose to a count of 4, and then out, ha. If you want to, I invite you to put your hands on your heart. Breathe in again through your nose. And then when you breathe out, I again invite you to breathe in through your nose. And then on the out breath, I want you to imagine a stage below you and in front of you, kind of like a platform. Imagine directly over your head, there is a source of positive energy, white light. I want you to allow this loving, healing energy to flow down into you, filling you up. Filling up your feet, your calves, your thighs, your abdomen, your chest cavity. Down your arms, up through your head. This light is in you, around you, through you, as has you. Let's take a moment and invite Carol and Todd to the stage. I imagine they're dancing, holding hands, loving the fact that they're together and they can be here with all of us. And now I want you to take that light and I want you to shoot it out of your heart into them. Just giving them all of that energy, all of that love from you to each one of them. Completely filling them up. And then we say, please forgive me. Take some time to express your thoughts and feelings. And now let them express their thoughts and feelings. This next step might be hard for some of you. I know it's going to be hard for me. And yet it's time to let that connection go. Not that they won't be here. However, they'll live in our memories. We let them be free so they can experience whatever it is we experience, whatever that is. They need to be free and to know that we're okay. So just take a moment, knowing that in your heart and in your memories, they're always there. But the connection, the cord, to just take a moment and release. So we thank them both for the joy, the love, the laughter, the compassion, the comic relief, the singing for no apparent reason, the dancing to music as you're sitting in a chair just moving your feet. I miss you, my love, and I let you go. And I know you're always in my heart because as of today, you've made me a better person. This is the song I came up with. I don't know if it's Carol's favorite song. except I do know that she knew all the words. And so I invite you to stand up. We're going to sing This Little Light of Mine together.
Shine all around the world. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, 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 let it shine. One more time, let it shine, oh let it shine.
There was one thing I forgot to say. On the table out in the lobby, there are condolence cards. My idea, if you're so inclined, is you take a card, and instead of expressing sympathy or condolences, you either write the card to Carol to tell her how much you love her, what she added to your life, the gift that she gave you, or you can address it to Holly and Heidi, who are her two daughters, and tell them how much Carol meant to you. They know that we are sad for them. They know that we're sending them love, and I thought it would be nice if we told them about their mom and how she touched each one of us individually. So you can take a card, and then if you'd bring it back next Sunday, and then I will make sure that the two girls get those. And so our center is supported by God, and we welcome you to be part of how God shows up in support of this center. So if you'd like to craft a gift to Genesis Center for Spiritual Living, we will give you a moment to do that. If you are online, there is a donate button right there on the Facebook page. So please feel free to give a gift to Genesis Center for Spiritual Living, and we'll give everybody an opportunity to do that. And so if you want to take your prayer request and your offering and hold it next to your heart, we'll do our offering together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is, and so it is. And so we will sing our offering song together as Anna and Kim come around to collect gifts and prayer cards.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my joy. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my love. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my peace. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
I am so grateful for all that I... Oops. That doesn't help, does it? Hang on. There we go. I think. Wait a minute. Sorry. Oh, there we go. I am so grateful for all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am so grateful for all that you have, all that you give, and all that you receive. I am so grateful for all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive abundantly. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you. Here's a little inevitability test to check on the progress you're making toward achieving any particular dream. You're pretty much doing something about it every single day. Yes, visualizing counts, and preparing the way counts twice, and acting as if it's a done deal 7 times.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Thank you all for being here, whether you're at the Cockrell Center or online. I hope to see you next week. And remember, you are more than your name, your God and form. Act as if.